Follow the Equestria Brotherhood. Chapter 36. An end to all things. Which I kinda don't want it to. It all has to end. We all die, one way or another. Just to make that final boom count before you go. The front lines were silent, the wind blowing like a distant beast high in the creaking steel buildings. Hundreds of Legion's soldiers stood at their barricades and sandbags, hundreds of green helmets clustering together behind the barriers. Down the road as far as the soldiers standing in the very gates of the mine could see, there was at least a team of 10 huddled somewhere. The gates had their own set of walls, amassed to what towered 3 ponies high, all constructed by piles of wooden crates, and leftovers of empty steel boxes that heavy machine guns had come in. Vladimir's cape rippled like creamy silk in the breeze. Other officers crouched at his left and right, watching the road, diligently, keenly, with their weapons ready to draw. But Vladimir's sights were upturned at a surly sky, a bustle in the dark churning clouds, silhouetted to hellish green. He studied the clouds through a pair of binoculars, held aloft by his eyes to the oar of his horn. An officer squatted down between a tight space and whispered, "Sir, nobody's shown up yet. What are your orders?" Laying a hoof atop the officer's head, Vladimir pushed him back into place, without breaking his skyward observation. "Sit down and shut up." Dad sat on the ground along the base of the fortification. "He's right. What should we do? Shouldn't they shown up by now to stop us?" "Perhaps." Vladimir muted, binoculars for his eyes. "We'll be right here for days if we need to. There's no way in hell to take us off guard." Flopping back against the rough road placed in his blanket, he grumbled, "Wonderful." Pulsing the rims of the binoculars back to his eyes, Vladimir's ears perked. He leaned forward, a grin slowly manifesting. "Isn't that lovely? They decided to come after all." "Thanks!" Vladimir sweetly chimed. "Be a useful lad, and go bring Dahlia to vault. Make sure to fit the radio inside while you're at it. I need you on standby when the time's right." That's his mind buzzed. He imagined staying out of the wall by his post. Cesare signed to him. "Sir?" A hint of fear tasted flesh Vladimir's reply. "You heard me." "I did," he recovered, "but I thought you needed me here." Vladimir swiveled his head around to see Thad's eyes wide and burning. "Are we having a music communication here, Thad?" The Emperor's eyes struck Thad's soul like an arrow plunging deep through his breast. Quickly he shook his head, raising a hoof halfway to salute. "No, sir." "Good." Vladimir pointed to the dark mine gates. "Now go." Thad, in mid-salute, waiting for his gaze pulled off of him. Then, lowering his hoof, turned to the gates, walking out without saying a word. Scooter felt warm from hoof to ear, walking through the center of an empty mine pit. Mine carts, filled to the rim with sharp rock shards, sat untouched. Light fixtures hanging by wire-thin cables flickered dim above. Pickaxes were strewn all over the floor, and spigot shackles lay lying along the pit's walls. It was like dozens of the slaves, tirelessly digging at the deep ruts carved in the cave walls, had ceased all work, dropping whatever task he had been assigned to at a moment's notice. Scooter's eyes soaked in the scene, and the desert mind quietly eerie. A pipe somewhere in a hallway at the end of the pit billowed a brief hissing cloud of steam. The gentle sough, a chilling whisper in the mind. He burrowed, feeling the uncomfortably calm atmosphere frictionally when his word from less lying natural. Whopper's head swayed from one side of the room, then the next. A low note of appall caught in his tone. "There really ain't nobody at all. The soldiers, the slaves, no one. Where you suppose to put them all?" "Might be outside the gates. Seems like the smart thing to guess, I reckon." The two moved to study the steel beams framing the doorway that led to a long hallway. The freshly acquired Legion light guards clinged softly to the rustle of the steam. Hopper peeked one time over his shoulders at the ever-descending pit to two backs. "This ain't the only pit to be empty." "Yeah, I thought the woods at the front should be clear, not all the way back." "Maybe there isn't no one here at all." Whopper's added to his wonderment. We haven't seen a single soul since we come in. There has to be something in here. They just wouldn't leave the whole place unfeeded and naked. Looking down at his blank, solid green chest plate, Whopper uttered beneath a weak breath, "Let's just pray these get us back, if anyone's down here." The two of them walked the hallway's length, before finding a set of stairs leading to the next level. The pattern of empty pits continued. Everything had been abandoned. The slave master post, the slave quarters on the following level, all of it. That was, until the pair came to an end of a seemingly endless corridor. Unlike the previous passageways the two traversed, the door at the end of the hall was iron. Deads and framed in thick, darker metal. Rivers of size of milk caps were fastened to the door's border, hatch-like entrance to either control room or someplace of significance. Scooter took the lead, hearing signs of life. The voices of 3 to 5 ponies carried out the door and through the hall. In case of unbustling static, failed reply of someone, returning messages to them, resonating in ambience. He was gentle in his stride, the unknown seizing him by his heart, forcing it to beat harder. He controlled his breathing, letting in and holding breaths for seconds at a time. The door was wide open for them, or should any that you managed to come across the room. Inside were 5 ponies, 3 unicorns, with the rest being earth ponies, each adorned in headsets cuffed atop their ears. The walls were cluttered and hung with screens and radios compacted, what appeared to be a small surveillance headquarters. Images on the monitors came in real time, of various pits, cells, and rooms of the mine, without sparing the bars of a scary static frequently creeping out the corners. Instantly, Scooter's attention caught on one of the far-off screens in the corner. It broadcasted a live feed in the corner of a wide chamber, where standing in the squad was Covert. The sudden revelation to the whereabouts of the pony he hunted kindled his curiosity. One speaker sat between the screen and multi-node radio. Not unlike the other radios, messages coming in through a projected out loud, filling the entire room with grating noise of someone blaring a choppy, hardly distinguishable sentence. In no time at all, a soldier sitting close by would answer it by means of a microphone he had to pull out hidden behind a screen. Together, the two stood idle in the doorway, unclear at the next move. Whopper, however, leaned to his comrade. "What do I do?" Scared frightened answering his voice. "See that screen? I figure we asking nicely where the record cover is." "Like to know? Better than nothing." Knocking 3 times on the door's frame, a charming metallic ring reverberated in the air. Heal it?" The unicorn levitated the headset to the rest around his neck. Then, directing himself to face them, he arched the bewildered brow of the two. "What are you two doing here?" Skewer's heart stopped a beat. Well, aren't you two supposed to be with the Vault Regiment?" Whopper nearly shoved the entire nose to Skewer's ears, whispered, "The what now?" Skewer followed up blankly. "The Vault Regiment?" Yeah. Why else would you two be down here at this level? Captain Covert did request you, correct?" A light snapped at Scooter's mind. At last, a path was set for him. "Oh, dang it, he did it!" You noticed Whopper sorrowfully aside. "Like that what we're doing?" Whopper paused a moment. The light not quite as quickly. "Oh, Covert's guy. Yep, I'll see you there." The operator drew a hoof halfway to his face, ready to plant it. "Don't tell me you two got left behind. Please don't." Scooter nodded, scuffling the ground with one hoof. "Yeah, well, certainly. I do feel my birth over it. But that there spiral side out there at the gates was just too good to turn up." Well, the operator reached under his radio, fishing out a cardboard box. "He's stationed up at the vault leading into Ironhammer, so he's not too far away." As he pulled himself away, perched on his hoof was a small, personal radio. "I noticed you didn't have a radio on you," he sent it to him. "You could really use one. Might help you out when your minds go adrift." Scared took it, feeling the weight of the small device at his hoof. Whopper grinned sheepishly, rubbing the back of his head an inch he couldn't scratch. "Sure, that helps a lot. Thanks." Operator's voice was stern. "Don't lose it." Looking the radio to his bow south, Scooter shuffled out of the room, Whopper swiftly following behind him. No longer they were more than 10-cent distance from the surveillance room. The two, and Houston, released a relief view. Scooter's head hung low like he was sniffing the floor. huffing out through the gaping mouth. Whopper, I'm just happy we just don't have to do something like that again. Whopper slapped a hoof over his friend's mouth, sussing him. We ain't that far away yet. Let's just keep it lit for now. While his eyes were placed towards the ground, Screw's head shifted to the right. A pebble on the floor wobbled. The earth itself shook for a moment. As spurts of vibrations, tremors came shaking from the mine. Removing Whopper's hoof from his lips, Screw searched the ceiling as though he was looking for something. Hi, Screw said. Will you like a stone? The ground grumbled, spilling a sheet of dust collected on the ceiling before them. Whopper, legs widely spread to brace the treble earth, muttered, "There ain't no other thing I could think of could be, boss." Ironside was among his men in the gunship, shoulder to shoulder, a herd of base helmets facing the steel loading ramp from the ship's back. He stood at the back, sitting at the bottom of 3 steps leading to the cockpit. He as it purred outside, their vibrating ears passing by the walls. The hum persisted since takeoff, numbing his hearing to the singular and trancing tone. Ironside hadn't noticed it. Replacing both green eyes on the floor, his right forearm jittered vigorously. An explosion outside the vessel jostled those within. Soldiers stumbled and recovered, gasps of surprise waving from one end of the crowd to the other. Eyes moved to the walls, concealing what acted transpired beyond. Ironside reeled the hoof to his chest, pressing it hard against himself to subside the restless movement. His own attention drifted to the walls, as another explosion rocked the ship. He slowed the inhalation sucked in through his nose, the sinking and near sync of his own fluttering heartbeat. The spiking roar of the horn erupted above his head. Ironside's heart leapt, the pounding shortly lingering below his throat. A light like hellfire flashed overhead. Soon, very soon, the rap would be lower. He could, in fleeting mental images, picture the coming minutes. Creatures spilled out the ramp like mad cattle, scrambling to escape their cage. Depending on where they landed, coming fire would kill those on the front first, giving the next sets of bodies a chance to lead ahead. There was a generous consideration. The Legion had armed soldiers leading the paths to the mines. The likely case rested with heavier fire. The first half probably dead the instant the ramp was halfway open. The moment to discover their fate approached. A solid hollow thud echoed touchdown, exploding shockwaves of skyward bombs detonating phase through the ship's walls. Coming as tickles to Ironside's skin ears. He let go his hoof, standing. Collecting himself, Ironside constricted anything he could. Stomach, limbs, anything that wouldn't offset the uneasy balance of panic and anticipation amongst his fellow soldiers. "All right!" He stopped the ground twice, bell-horn and metallic thunder rolling in on the door. Lump in his throat forced a few words to quaver under the fear he tried to mask. "Whatever you do, find cover! Nothing else matters until you do! Once you're safe, wait for everyone else to reach our line!" Pistons forcing the ramp down. He suddenly his piercing hiss. The ramp opened, Ironside's breath becoming shorter. "Ready!" One soldier in front called to the others. Ironside started forward, unbuttoning his pistol holster. "3!" The ramp was halfway open. No bullets, no inflamed cries of wars. "2!" One gripped the handle of his pistol, burying the back molars of the yoke, cracking the wood underneath his jaw's bite. "1!" A vexing boom signaled the coming event. It was a rare sound, the powerful ramp of a steel ramp rusting up on coarse asphalt. Chaos followed suit. There was running elsewhere onto the street. Ponies pushed ponies, shoving one way, staggering the opposing way. Ironside was on autopilot, legs moving, but mind lost in a lexicon of sight. Ships danced like dragonflies between the ruined skyscrapers above, while the rest of his senses were overwhelmed by dozens of conflicting sensations. Sulfur perforated the air, burning his nostrils. Bullets for distance rifles of soldiers garrisoned behind protective walls whirred by, twanging and clinging with firefly sparks snapping at the ship's metal. Some struck soldiers beside him. A cloud of red mist spurting out of the point of contact. The wounded would lose their footing and collapse when the other stray bullets bombarded them. Droplets of their lifeblood modded on his face, as soldiers from the ship might saw sanctuary behind the heavily cover of a few rusty taxi wagons parked at the curb. A soaring rocket struck a gunship, ringing a bell rung in his ears. An ice pick to both eardrums made the world fall silent. He didn't care. Keeping his head down, he raced to the nearest taxi, crouching next to his rotting silver fender. Once there, Ironside leaned on it, heart pumping thrice the normal beat of a calmer pony. 4 soldiers were with him, hose on top of their helmets as the bullets pelted the wagon. Ironside's hearing returned in time, the woods-inducing twings of bullets being the first few sounds in a matter of moments, as he was allowed to soak in the battle scene. He heard the bloody shugs of injured soldiers bleeding out into the open street. He holstered his pistol, and were tapping the back of a unicorn mare closest to the corner of the fender. "How far did we land?" Like a careful mouse, peeked out slightly from the corner and momentarily where they saw they were, and returned to his shouting above the war sound. "Half a mile, sir! It looks like they'll be as far as the pilot can get to us." "How long do you imagine we'll be here? Are there any others making an effort to push up?" "Can't say, sir! I'm afraid they'll get lost. Shot, taking another look." "Did you at least spot the gates?" She shrugged, question lost in the clamor. "What?" Ironside reiterated. "The gates! Did you see them?" "Yes!" She nodded. "What? Is it important?" "Did you see the anti-air guns there?" "If you made the huge one by the gates, yes, I did see them." Ironside swayed his attention to the ground, eyes darting to and fro, calculating their stance. Thinking to himself, he mumbled each idea aloud. "We're too far, too weak to get there to deactivate them. That only means we have to dish out the heavy missiles on our attack ships." His eyes froze, growing twice their size with both pupils dilated in shock. We can't risk it. Must I remind you we have a limited supply of those?" Those also overheard the entire plan. "When did you give it time to push up? The rescue team to fly in?" Ironside drew his eyes to the ground, so he was considering the proposal. But the only way from this point. The soldier responded, "Is there any other way?" "Nothing certain." The soldier replied wholeheartedly, "Then I'll do it! Tear those guns a new one, sir!" Ironside pulled a short-range pocket radio from his uniform. Holding it in his hoof, he pressed the red button in the left corner, raising it to his mouth, a blur of static emanating from the speaker at the bomb. With one order, the missiles would fly. Whether they would hit their target accurately was another matter entirely. Nothing could be certain at the time, but either way the missiles traveled, something would be hit. The laser would feel it regardless of stunning force. There was some kind of magic of flying. The wind, cold like the waters of a strong stream, winding and bending to the shape of Neo's body. Unicorns could alter the surroundings, perform fantastic feats with a fault. But to be a Pegasus, higher up in the heavens, the air catching in their wings, soaring with the breeze, there could be nothing more magical than that. A blanket of acid clouds smothering the sky above was close to their height. Neo, smiling at the gusts run through his black mane, felt like he could reach up overhead and scrape the cloud cover. Lucy's legs flew down powerful strokes as he flew a wide circle above the mountains. The flyer's age swelled highly in the green aura, giving her newfound energy. During the 4th major run through the painted circling, the city appeared to be nothing but a collection of black shapes, tall and short, hidden underneath a vile, smoky haze. The city, from their distance, appeared miniature in comparison to the mountain's base at which it sat. The faint clatter, momentary flashes of bombs bursting in the building's roofs clapped. Even in the serenity of the sky, the wailing fury of war was still present. Western dug through the clanking contents of their weapons bag. A few leftover pistols, some extra saddle equipment remained. What wasn't there was given to an owner. Everyone had a gun of some nature. It's quite a big lot. Pulling a pistol, he bundled neatly in his holster, as he looked at Big Lot bouncing in his hold. "We'll be flying soon," he said. "I'm willing to provide you with this, ammunition included." Big Lot was on her best behavior, sitting upright with a controlled posture, smiling dearly. Western didn't care for the details, but he could have sworn the Philly's eyes sparkled. "Can you handle this as your weapon?" She nodded, without saying a word, afraid to upset him with an unnecessary quip. Anna's face tensed up into a grimace. Part of him tugged one way, the logical way, where all of them needed to be armed for the coming task. The other fought for her innocence, which had arguably been lost too long ago. Wester handed the gun. "Good. Don't shoot your eye out." He pushed the bag far to one corner. "Or, for that matter, don't shoot one of our eyes out." She cradled the gift like an infant in her husk. "I won't bubble in my eye, I promise." "That'd really suck if you did," Allie remarked, chuckling. The harsh imagery of a bullet lodged in one of her eyes melted the laughter away. She rubbed eye one gently, feeling a bizarre tickle upset at the more as he thought, Or if he shot ours. They got fraud in the alley. Prepare turned to stick out. Now goes to England's eyeing out. Lester eyed, statistically speaking. Nope. Seeger interjected, pouncing him in the shin. Don't statistically correct me. Lester was unmoved by the gesture. Neo gazed off at the sea, squinting at the few slender seeds arched in the sky. High they soar above the heads of the skyscrapers, like a series of falling arrows let loose. Hey! He guarded their attention, pointing at the objects. What are those things? Everyone in the wagon shuffled to his side, unevenly tilting the entire space to one end. Lucy grunted, Hey! Easy on the footing! Cruising arrow-like missiles stole back into the city, allowing gravity to take them away, advancing entirely into the smog. Anna blinked. What were those things? Lester didn't hesitate to answer Adam. Missiles. Explosion, more immense than the ones previously seen, lifted a fiery plume in the air at the mountain's base. Neil's jaw dropped. When did he see the deterring strength of the coalition's strike? What happened? Perhaps he pushed them back. Lester inferred. An explosion of that degree would certainly decimate a portion of the Legion's force. A few minutes later, and for a time, the battle in the sea was quiet. Then, a scowling voice masking a furious giant announced from the weapon bag. Attention! This is the Coalition Assault Force contacting the rescue team. Missile strike was a success. I repeat, the missile strike was a success. Temporarily, most Legion anti-air defense have been disabled. You have orders to move in now. Over. Instinct clicked, sending the members of the group scattering themselves around the wagon. Very solid, even balance. It was here, time to descend onto the fighting. Allo was the first to move to front of the wagon, covering a hump to the corner of her mouth. Lucy, we got orders in! It's time! Lucy looked over her shoulder, giving Allie a single nod and salute. Veering off the encircling path they looked multiple times before, Lucy dived towards the sea, picking up tremendous speed as the wind thrashed at their faces. Okay, class, I think now would be a good time if you pause the library here and go to your YouTube channel or somewhere and proceed to start looking up possible awesome rock songs to be playing while this is going on. Personally, I am always a fan of Dare, but I could also take Linkin Park, playing at full volume, mainly Castle of Glass, or Place for My Head, or even Boulevard of Broken Dreams, or even playing a upbeat awesome song from One Piece. Thank you. The earth sensed something fierce, loosening cave dust cascading like rain. The roaring battle on the surface had taken a turn for the worse, tossing Scooter and Whopper around the hallway. Reaction dictated that Scooter have a hoof running along the wall at times, bracing himself for when the aftershocks of the conflict phased deeper into the mine. Another rocky blow finally turned the ground they stood on, brought Scooter to lay flat on his stomach, shedding teeth and eyes alike like defiant convulse. Whopper was on the floor, for like dust in cave dirt, its shielding on top of his head. The missing slot crippled out of existence, the world returning to the way it once was. Lights, strung on the walls, flickered back to life, like gaining lost power. Scooter got up quickly, looking to his comrade for hours. What was that? Nothing good, Whopper answered softly. I'll work it from this point on. The battle ain't going to get much smoother. We ain't got much time. Scooter starting to sprint, hurrying with dear life. We gotta get covered. Whopper didn't have the luxury of time to add a comment. His friend had briskly taken the lead in charge of their crusade. Scooter dashed past identical sliding doors, racing past the flashes, the hot line air whisking through the matted leaves of racing manes, slapping his single eye. Scooter's heart burned immensely. Twice down to fire, he had stared at those nights long after Bid got fast. He felt every step, punched each sinking muscle. His eyes pinched, sweat beating in profuse droplets over brow and neck. Covert. He would kill him if it was the last act he allowed him in this world. Whopper wheezed, feeling the full marathon Scooter took since his lungs. He staggered, hopping out like an accordion, saving himself from total collapse by leaning on the wall. Could you settle down for a sec? Rubbing his sweat running between his eyes, Whopper blinked, focusing on his friend. Scooter stopped, frozen, Standing at the end of the hall, similar to that of the surveillance room, was like the last, completely ajar. The room was square, and half the size of the last. The first two sequential features were instant in the middle of his eyes saw beyond the frame. One wall had 8 of the monitors lined atop the other over a long, colorful plated control panel. Second, 3 seats ideally were present for the operators, who at the moment seemed to be gone. An empty room, just as the rest of the mine had been emptied. Whopper shuffled to the door, too tired to lift his hooves entirely. Is this police part of your plan, Moles? Scurry lacked the human size of fatigue, as his partner expressed. You bet your sweet niblets it is! Whopper made way for one of the chairs, combing the room as he went. You might want to explain something, Cap. What makes this place so special? Instead of the control panel wrote in terms of 10 was a series of little green buttons. Scurry gravitated to the controls, smiling brightly like a full and heartwarming Eve. This here is Joy rattled the words. This here controls the electric sails. Well, placing a huff at both ends of the control section, Scurry arched his body toward the dimly glowing lights. In the bower of his shadow, the control buttons were like fireflies in twilight. Each one here is a sail. I saw 'em on screens back yonder where Cover and his crew are. And if they're killing the folks down here, this means something goes wrong. They gotta handle it. Whopper's eyes widened, falling at the panoply of the self-release buttons. You mind? Just a few, Scurry snickered. Just enough to make a few of Cover's gang split for a sake. Scurry craned his nose to the screens, feeling the tinkling static emit from the glass into his sensitive nose. There's a few prisoners out, and a radio calling this here radio, and we're fixing to take 'em out for good. Hopper's attention passed between Scooter and the buttons. Who do you think these cells are holding? Scooter shrugged. Ain't none of my concern. Can't be too hard and nasty, right, pal? He spared no more hesitation. Scooter reluctantly pressed the first random 3 buttons that came to him. Neither of them had noticed that on the farther right of the screen, fading images, a scared horizontal bars of static, was the camera focused on a cell door. The passing seconds gave a fleeting glimpse to the prisoners. Single instances of a group of dark miners slinking out of their capture. From a dark abyss they emerged, goggles flying like moonlight lines to the camera, roaming free in the mines once again. Before, seconds later, the screen chopping footage to cut to static. Vladimir lay his side on the asphalt. He gasped for clean air, inhaling only the rotten air that scorched his lungs. The Emperor's sight was obscured in misty glaze. The black smoke rose into fumes, towering high from the twisted remains of the 3 anti-air guns. At the wall, the gates configured to stop the coalition had been torn asunder. Splintering scraps of those crates scattered throughout a dozen bloody ponies sprang to limbness across the bridge. Vladimir's legs felt broken, weakly shaking like the wobbly knees of a foal. He rolled onto his gut, hanging out specks of dirt. He stood, bone stable, searching the conflagration the missiles that had left. Troops down the road continued fighting, holding out the presence of coalition forces. A steam of boiling liquid ran down and drops over his forehead. Putting a hook to his spot, Vladimir investigated the substance. Blood. His blood. Clutching out the waving orange glow of the fires. Vladimir growled, teeth firmly gnashed. The flames climbed at the bent barrels of little fingers, consuming them wholly. A few unfortunate souls wandered his sight, limping and hobbling to groaning soldiers trapped under the regiments of the blown barricade. Vladimir selected one specific individual of the lot, a soldier with a square object bulging from his side pocket. Vladimir bit the tip of his tongue, drawing the taste of blood as he moved to the soldier. You! He said, grunting. Report! Pony Cho scrabbled to get himself together. Breathing remained deep. He saluted. Sir! Where's your captain? Vladimir inquired hoarsely. How many of us at the gates are still alive? Answer me. Several escaped scrapes, and scars bled on the soldier's saluting foreleg. I can't say for certain, sir! What do you mean, sir? Haven't you been wandering this desolate for a vacation for survivors? I don't know, essentially quavered his reply. A few of us, maybe 30. As for my captain, his voice went solemn. Trailing off with him as he went to a smoldering pile of wooden planks and charred steel plates. He's underneath there. Well, Hunter said, nuzzling one plank. I'm not going to let this go on any longer. The same hoof extended out to the soldier, ready to receive. Soldier, give me your radio. I've got the card I'm ready to play. Lucy flapped her wings, harder than she had in days. The strain of the excess stress put on the newly healed muscles hit decisively and sore. When the mare was used to navigating the tall, opposing buildings, they were, at least to her, no different than those found in Iron Hoof City. She kept to the 12 levels of most buildings, high enough to be outside for the most shots on the ground to stray, but nearby to spot enemy soldiers aiming for them. Lucy feared the next coming skyscraper, jerking the wagon with her. Everyone inside braced against the wagon's inner walls, heads safely tucked below the slippy bullets sparking on their vehicle's hull. Lucy let the air pass under her wings in a smooth glide, weaving right and left, missing most fired shots. At the corner of the 15-story hotel, she turned, diving past several heavy machine guns unloading on the coalition footmen in the street. None of the passengers had spared a moment to get a full look at the conflict, but the sounds gave a distinct picture of what it was. Howling screams that chilled blood, overtaking the constant blast of gunfire. The occasional grenade would explode, the light or where it landed a mystery. All the same, a wail of pain as some unfortunate grunt pierced the clamor. Lucy pushed harder, hose extended straight in front of her, hind legs appropriately out behind. The toxic mixture of soot and sulfur saturating the air, brought fat tears to the corners of her eyes. She couldn't stop moving forward. Not for a moment. The urgent thought living. The sooner we do this, the sooner this ends. An end to end of all of this. Forever. Approaching the end of the street, the tile road leading to dark mines was in sight. Snoring, Lucy pounded her wings, beating the air like it itself had done something unspeakable to her. Lungs and the heart together ached. The vicious, almost callous nature of her heartbeat drumming on the inside of Lucy's ribcage was lost feeling. Flying 300 feet over the bulk of bow, she saw the gates of the mines. It was the final push, the last stretch. Lucy broke into a full aerobatic sprint in midair. The extra potent adrenaline, finally gaining speed she needed, suffusing throughout her veins. Towering bonfires were a place where the anti-air guns would have been. She bolted like lightning down the main road, forcing the wind to soar throughout her veins. Lucy's heart flared, tongue tirelessly hanging out one corner of her mouth. 400 feet. Another few well-timed strokes, and there they were. 300 feet. Come on, Wings, and push! 200 feet. Come on! She pinched her eyes tight, clenching out, jaws shut, every muscle ablaze in burning fatigue. 100 feet. She could feel it at last. The gates were open for her. Lucy reveled in the familiar sensation of hot mine air nuzzling her fur, bringing in a triumphant smirk about her. Got us here! We're almost in! A whistle, a vexatious note of whirring rocket howled, lasted for a second before discharging at the wagon's side. The shockwave thumped, seizing all movement. The scorching rocket fire blasted next, lasting on her wings and legs. For a moment they were free-falling, hurling uncontrollably throughout the gates. Lucy's wing twitched. The black scorch marks whipped across the gray feathers of her coverts. All of them, thrusting like an iron comet into the vast central mine pit within, came crashing inside, impacting the center of the cavern, the side of the wagon skidding on solid dirt. The vehicle had left a sizable rut from one part of the pit to the other. The wagon slammed the top of the back wall, upturned, with one wheel hopelessly spinning. Neil crawled out of the crashed vehicle first, coughing and drunk-footed. Stumbling away from the sight, he turned around, seeing his friends roll or crawl their way out. Bruises throbbed, and bleeding cuts were marked at different places on the exposed skin. Their armor had essentially absorbed a portion of the damage. It too displayed dents and midnight scrapes that would have otherwise rendered them dead, or mortally wounded. Neil policed his comrades for vital injuries, helping those struggling to emerge. Lucy's body was suspended between the two rods, held in place by a harness. Neil hobbled to her side, unfastening the myriad of buckles and straps holding her to the wagon. Wester came to help Neil, a unicorn's tusk more effective at undoing the multitude of safety restraints. All at once, the buckles became immersed in the horn's aura. Then, just as agilely, they undid themselves, allowing Lucy's body to land on the ground. Lester laid a hoof tenderly on her shoulder, trailing his visor to her stomach. Though faint, the subtle sign of breathing rose and fell at her gut. Everyone present, she suffered the bulk of the injury. A deep laceration cut 3 inches above the back of her neck, followed by a swelling bruise mounted at the side of her head. Minor abrasions coated the areas of the mare's lower jaw, accompanied by the marks left by the rocket. Lester scooped her up and eased her onto his back. She needs medical attention. Allie's voice was parched and hoarse. We all need medical attention of some kind. We're not going to get it here. Not now, anyway. Amos had his eyes pointing at the gates, plainly visible where they stood. He's right. Whoever saw us down will have friends. And they know we're in here now. Dead or alive, it won't matter. They'll come down here to inspect the crash. Then we better make ourselves sparse, Neil said, shaking away a headache in his brow. Adam, take Lucy and Lester. Go into the mine, find Mom. I'll go with Big Allie and Big Lot to Ironhammer. Do you know where that is on your pip-up map? Adam pulled his pip bucket out close to his chest, glancing down at it. In a confident nod, he answered, I do. Where do we meet up after we get her? We should have the vault by then. By the way things sounded like there, it seems that they got the whole army out on the field. Moving his toes around Neil in a gripping hug, Adam whispered ruefully, Be careful, brother. Please don't get shot. Neil scowled a little. You'd be safe, too. Closing their embrace, they looked at each other in the eyes, smiled, and parted in 2 opposing directions, leaving long before a team of Legion's soldiers could find anyone at the wagon's crash site. Dahlia paced back and forth in her cell, waiting for a guard, a servant, anyone to help gain even the slightest advance in escaping. The last time she heard echo thuds of soldier galloping to the hallways outside was an hour ago. Now no one stood on guard. No one she could hear, even if they were present. The battle salamander paced bounce like ganks, every millisecond a ticking time bomb to Ironhammer's inevitable launch. Dahlia's moment of strife, the door outside the cell clicked as the body stepped through. Ears respectively drawn to the sound, reverberating out the walls. She stopped in place as to face the new visitor. Thats, with a personal ray silverly held to his ear, stepped to her bars. Not coming to Dahlia's cell, uttering a sigh, understood. Snuggling the radio back to his proper place in his uniform pocket, he instead drew jingling keys on a ring. Dahlia gingerly came to the cell door, pulling at the keys that the captain held. What are you doing? Dahlia noted Thats had sour, dark rims underneath his eyes. He seemed a couple of them. His voice sounded Hildegard. You're going to come with me. He sat down, closely thumbing through the loose pair of keys in his hose. He selected, after a minute, the right seal key on the ring. It's Vladimir, Dahlia said, isn't it? It doesn't matter. That's the tone suggested a level of patience. If you come clean, we won't have to get fight. Or slide the key in the cell's lock. He pulled a short length of chain between it and his uniform, sitting beside him, and locked the door, pushing it open. Thats took the chain in his mouth, aiming to Dahlia's side. Where's my escort? It's Dahlia asked. He lassoed it around her neck, his full mouth muffling a few words. Order, escort! Tying her string off, he fastened the other end to his belt. Then you shouldn't have a problem telling me where we're going. You can give me that, can't you? Thats sighed, tripping his head. Vladimir requested I take you to Ironhammer. Dahlia recoiled slightly, tugging the chain with her. What? Why? What am I supposed to do? He ordered it, Thats retorted. Gracefully yanking on the chain, Dahlia staggered forward. Now come. Dahlia's eye leveled adjacent to his own. She spotted a feeling, an empty, a contemplative feeling. As a mother, she had witnessed such emotions in her sons in times of inner conflict. Those lying battles raging inside themselves were over minor disputes. Thats explored vibrant bloodshot veins wreathing his whites. What's going on with him? She asked, ignoring his previous gesture. Excuse me? Have you noticed it too? Dahlia inquired further. That he's different? Changed? Possessed even? Thats looked miserably soft, his first statue melting away. I don't know what you're talking about. She came out bluntly. I know you do. I'm sure of it now. Thats turned to face the door, actively remaining silent in response. 'Cause it's true. He's not the Vladimir I or you even knew. Not anymore. The captain stared aside absently. Lost in his own lexicon of causing ideas. In a few seconds' time, he took himself free of the thoughts, getting a foothold in reality. Just shut it. We're done speaking. Another remark about him, and I'll personally make sure you suffer each step of the way there. I swear it. At Cover's back stood, gleaming in the dim light, the vault door leading to Ironhammer. From the bottom of the floor, you see 10 points high to the entrance tip at the top of the ceiling. It was magnificently awe-inspiring. Once again, more than a few rockets alone wouldn't put so much as a dent in it, unless someone attempted to break inside. Scooter poked his nose around the corner, providing him a view of the open space of the vault space, where 20 guards had now been counted 10, including the studied Captain Covert, standing in the far back expecting a pocket watch. Looks like we took a good-sized bit out of his game, Scooter whispered to Whopper. And I don't reckon the rest will just be marching back anytime soon, pal. How many guns do they go? Whopper asked. Scooter's face grimaced, as both eyes squinted at the cog's brain calculating. Including the pistols? Now tight. Still got a few knives, too. Cover's got a sword. You figure we'll stand a chance? Whopper's comment triggered chuckled out of him. We don't have much of a shot anyhow. Better than one was before, I say. What's the plan, then? Well, Scooter began, you got some kind of explosive on you? Patting himself down, studying the unbuckled pockets of his sleeves. Limiting an ammunition deposits on the uniform's belt, Whopper searched, filling of bowls lodged in one pocket on his green undershirt. He removed a grenade. I've got this. Whopper presented the explosive to his comrade. Guess it must have come with all that gear we took. Scooter's eye became alight with inspiration as he slowly, carefully took the grenade. Ah! He nodded, uttering the best he could as his ideas came manifesting in. I can make this work. What's the plan then, Mouse? Covert studied the time well. 30 minutes, he thought. 30 bloody minutes. Stuffing the bronze pocket watch back in the empty ammunition pouch, the lead cannon snorted fuming air. Hastily, he singled out one nearby soldier and barked, You! Tell me, how long do you think it takes to handle a few runaways? The soldier wasn't prepared to answer. Then turned to me his captain. Nothing but a putter of words came tumbling out. Covert lost his patience too easily. Temperature in his brow skyrocketing to volcanic degrees. Selected pony could detect a bustling crimson and infuriating blood rush beyond the hue of Covert's fur. I'm certain they'll be back any time now. They are holding the dark miners in these cells after all. Covert, in one releasing sigh, excused his majority in steam. Regardless, he said punctuality, I'm a captain now, under strict orders of Vladimir himself. I don't want a single soul here to ruin the stable credibility I built for myself, especially while holding those few loose dark miners. He touched his forehead with the back end of his fetlock, feeling the residual silver linger. This is what Fats must have felt running through this godforsaken place. I can see why that poor soldier is acting the way he is. The same pony Comfort spoke to previously, levitating an inquiring huff. Sir, if I may, do you mind if I radio them, getting a progress report on your position? Comfort turned his back to him, waving dismissively. Please, if you don't mind. I thought they'd be old enough not to need a checkup call, but if we must... A mused sound shocked the air, clocking Covert where he stood. Click! The frail tone of a pin being pulled. Lightning sensitive nature jolted Covert's hind legs, flinging him forward 10 paces. Upon landing on the ground with a dull thud, he shielded the top of his head, tucking his chestward. The unknowing members of his squad, containing their helmets and masks, did not have the sensitive hearing Covert did. Head! He called, like a rock, tossed across the surface of a still lake. He came skipping by the spherical gray object. It rolled and bounded off the uneven floor, eventually coming to a stop in the middle of the group. The first soldier saw the grenade held by his feet. The soldier's heart stopped. A wave of light flashed blinding on the onlookers, followed by an intense explosion of scorching fire. Covert's ears were ringing, the high-pitched whine and the detonation numbing the dissonant sounds around him. 3 were left, the unfortunate few within the explosive's radius, rendered to nothing more than bloody bits of scratched armor and charred flesh. Dirty haze hovered about the scene, where the grenade had been nothing but a smoldering crater and wide smears of blood. Cover's step teetered, the world tilting one way, then the next. He stood and shuffled to the vault door, clicking on it and recovering his strength. Gradually, his hearing grew sensitive to the additional stimuli, more acute and more clear with a same pitch that affects his ring. Bang! The new sound came. Bang! 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 The skin below his fur went blank. Gunshots, Cover thought, spinning to see the fire shot's source. Two figures stood in the placing of dust clouds, drifting away like brine slithering away in the breeze. The muzzle flashes igniting the scaring haze. Cover hustled his pistol, rimming his teeth into the handle. Closed one eye, taking aim at the larger of the two attackers, lining his sights up with the head of the considerably massive assailant. His tongue rapped the trigger, pulling until the clip went dry. A few metallic pings, zips, and 3 swift splats later cleared the dust. The body of the Bengal warrior stumbled back onto his hind legs, Hank craned to his ceiling. Then, as he controlled his footing, Whopper flipped backward, landing back first. A crimson snap followed, like a thick branch broken in two. The shootout had halted as the breeze cleared. Scooter grinned, scanning the plane for standing rivals. I swear, if you kill Whopper, I'm gonna be pissed! The extra soldiers had been dealt with. Now Covert was experienced, pinned against the vault, an empty pistol in his mouth. Got you now! Scooter hollered, throwing a hook over his head. Just wait till Scooter looked to his side, to where Whopper fought during the ambush. Scooter's friend, comrade, and partner rolled onto his side, gasping like a fuss chicken hair. Lunging to Whopper's aid, he slid to a stop. Bullets for Cover's groin left gray slashes along Whopper's shoulders and legs. 2 had punctured straight through his windpipe. Exasperated bubbles gurgled and puffed at the wounds, but ere Whopper breathed and mostly escaped. Whopper flopped to him on his back, taking hold of his breastplate to reel Whopper close. He examined the wounds sustained during the fighting, starting at his stomach, scanning up to the gaping holes in his neck. Whopper? Pyle? Scooter's heart disintegrated, staring at his friend's limp, muscles body. Pyle? Come on! Don't die! Don't you die, man! We'll have him! We'll have him now! Tears pooled in the corner of his eye, not yet ample enough to fall. He nuzzled Whopper tenderly, and some hopes that a miracle would come and deliver him from death. Don't die! Please, my... Please. The first tear was the worst, curving downward at the mercy of gravity, before landing on Whopper's uniform lapel. Scooter nuzzled in his face the fading warmth of his comrade's breast, hearing nothing but a void, soundless cavity where a heartbeat what should be. Cover's jaw slacked, unbiting the weapon from his mouth. A car on the ground, its sound challenged only by Scooter's soft, choking sobs. Okay, that's it! The cover's going down! This sick son of a bitch! This is about to get a blaster cannon right in his face! Scooter! Let him have it! Time to die! Panning the scene, the captain found that all his soldiers were dead, laying mangled or shot here and there. Just the 2 of them. In the end, not a living soul in between the 50 steps separated the 2. Cover pointing a Jerry Huff at Scooter. Hey! I know you! He stopped a step forward, shifting to give himself to Whopper. I know him too! Cover jabbed the air, dissing him. I know you both! But, Cover's eyes directed to reason for visible answers. I don't understand! Why are you trying to kill me? I'm your master! Your captain! Shut up. Scooter whipped his head around, eyes full of tears. I'm only trying to kill you! I am going to kill you! The lazy's captain smirked, mockingly slapped the side of his head. You idiot! Is this about Big Claw? I thought I told you she was taking about those guardians. Scooter's throat revved. He got on all fours at a steadily calm speed. I never about it. Whopper never thought of it much either. Then what? Covered cheer. I wonder is that you believe happened in your own lovely words. You killed her. He stalled her like a wolf. You killed her dead just to get ahead! The flaring murder in Scooter's eyes did little to alter Covert's mood. And what proof, might I ask, is it you have to support these claims? Scooter barked instantly, sparing not a moment's thought. Shut it, you bastard! I'll kill you dead. taking control of his bow's trigger. He aligned the barrel directly Cover's body. Skewer kept it steady. Not bullet he fired would miss. Whatever rounds Western and his weapons clip were going to be lost thoroughly into Captain's chest. He smiled, squeezing the trigger as firm as his tongue permitted. Covert quickly grinned, a way to put authoritative bullets to end his life. Click! Skewer pulled the trigger again. Click, click! Having trouble? Covert quipped, because I know what the matter is. Click, click, click! Skewer spit the trigger out. What's you dare to it? Covert shrugged. I didn't do anything. He pointed to the empty belt, beaming the machine gun. Looks like the well's gone dry, Clarence. Skewer hurried to unbuckle the saddle off him, flinging loose the undone straps aside. A strap from his body slid sideways, crossing to the floor to his left. Cover unsheathed his sword, seeing his haunches and tightening the white leather strap. Purposely reflected the gleaming, dim counterless light of the linking stallion, choring, You know, since you don't have a gun, or any other weapons on you for that matter, but I might have this magnificent beauty with me. That those goals of yours, to kill me that is, are not looking too promising, wouldn't you say? Skewer's stronghold confidence did not falter. Covert's words had yet to pierce his armor. Silently, he sipped his attentions to abundance of weapons left by the Legionnaires' funded soldiers. So, Covert wrapped the conversation up. Let's just leave it at this, okay? I'll kill you, just like I did Big Lot. Then you can bend over for her anytime she wishes. Forever and ever. The first Legionnaire fought that came to Skewer, burning in his legs, causing a leap to the nearest carcass. Ignoring the bow saddle, Skewer touched the leather holster of the soldier's pistol. Covert glared, charging at full speed. Harnessed and revived, the glaring tip of the sword steered headlong to Skewer's neck, fastening the holster. Skewer looked up for a split instant, bouncing to the right to avoid the attacking lancer. Because the holster in his seat, Skewer lost his grip, sending the weapon twirling out of reach. Covert regained his composure, flailing the sword in Skewer's direction again. The two Legion officers screamed at the height of his voice, a murderous cry. A fancy at pace like real primed to strike. Skewer dove for the gun, tearing out the button, sealing the pistol inside, spinning it out, drawing the weapon considerably faster for opponent under pressure. He took aim, sight cover between the leaf-style sights. It was too close, coming into agilely. Is that even a word? The blade wasn't guided at the same accuracy as before. Razor's edge slid effortlessly over Skewer's shoulder, slicing it finally. The two collided together like ravenous beasts, primitive and ruthless in their anger. The fight had flaming energy in the air. Grunts of confusion and pain vibrated out the walls. Skewer snuck in, slamming hits on Covert's face. He felt the contortions of bones, the breaking chips of teeth ejecting from their mouths. Skewer, during the wrestling, seized the moment. He hugged Covert, giving him complete control where he moved the captain. Turning the table, Skewer pinned the Legion officer to the ground, rising high above him. He crushed Covert's forelegs under his weight, panting, blood oozing down his black and swollen lip. Covert winced. Courage sapped from his spirit. Please! Please no! I give up! Please! Covert shut his eyes tight, laying the sight of sand against the cold mine floor. I don't want to die, he pleaded like a foal. Please! Slightly pushing the distal weight at the captain's leg. Biting pain and ache at a cracked bone was heard in quieted area. Covert howled, Ah! Please! No more! Hyperventilate, Covert pinned any card he had, just to make the torment stop. I didn't kill her! Skewer lightened the forced load. Looked. Sappy, pitiful drops came pouring down his face like a child. I didn't kill her, Covert confessed. If anything, I knocked her out. Left her in the waste alive. Please! Please stop! Yes! Covert felt the purifying sense of Skewer's breath was on his face. You killed her! You murdered her! Don't you lie, buddy! It's the truth! Skewer's adrenaline saturated his quelled. Then where is she? I don't know! Covert's mind drowned in agony. He whimpered, Please, let me go. Skewer's hold on Covert was at his weakness. Weight no longer biting him to the floor. So he could wiggle if provided the opportunity. So his opponent off him, the lazy captain sprung to action. Lurching backward, Skewer's hind legs tripped on the body of a soldier, thrusting his square upon his back. Covert, sprying needle, prowled to his prey. Sword holds still like the barb of a scorpion. He simpered, adding a maddening cackle. I did it again! Just as I did with that brat big glut, I'll do to you! Start came down wholly through his gut. A pain, like anger he felt, filled his stomach. His insides were swimming in excruciating fire. Not the hell! The scourge cursed himself. Not my hell! Franklin's forehead felt salvation. A knife. Attached to the body of a Folger soldier his legs. Mustering what he could, Scourge seized the knife, tearing it from his owner. Sassy cover was in his throat. It's a single, decisive arch. The knife did his part, cutting a deep laceration across Covert's neck. The blood hosed out in streams, warm and thick, painting at Scourge's face crimson. Covert clasped his neck, craning to his left. Captain's coloration already paling. Like last, he, like those who had been under his command, joined to Dad. Scourge licked his lips, tiny claws ripping and slicing his organs. Fought the pain, resisted to the best of his abilities. As long as he had yet to undergo the strain of dying, was the meant there was time. Precious time, so long as he refused to unsheathe the blade buried inside of him.